know, who thinks that the UK is an independent country? I mean, its behaviour.
Oh yeah, nobody.
So I really believe it.
I mean, I would say the Jews or whoever it is, some sort of business powers, but the Jews are an easy go-to, highly probable source of control. They seem to be telling Trump what to do. Yeah, so they're not independent, but they're controlled by some monetary power. Yeah.
Well, okay. My theory about the Jews is that they're being used as a brand by the American empire, so they can pretend to be the good guys and protecting Israel and whatever. But really, what they're doing is use Israel as a testing ground for the latest weaponry. And the Jews don't even know it. And, a lot of them are not very happy. A lot of them have been, I live in Israel and be more Jewish. Like, no, but you're being run under the principles of Christian Zionism, and the Christian Zionists are basically believe that what Christians have to do is to dump all the Jews in Israel and then convert them to Christianity, and then Jesus will come. That's basically their belief. And that's probably how America gets Americans to support, or if they're Christian and believe in the whole thing, to support Israel, because it obviously costs a lot of money. But I think even Jews like Dubin are saying, I'm a non-Zionist, right? I mean, he says these things because obviously he doesn't want to go and live in Israel, and he doesn't think he doesn't want to take the flak for all the anti-Semitism generated by the mass murder of the Gazans. Because I think the whole business model is we're going to bomb the crap out of you, and then we're going to rebuild your country using our contractors, of course. And in the meantime, we will have a chance to have tested our weapons on real people.
Okay. I mean, that does make some sense. It's an interesting way of looking at it.
And well, on AI, if you ask it, a lot of the latest weaponry, are kind of have this sort of label, like recently tested in Israel. Like it works because we tested it in
AI
Israel.
answers. What do you mean? Oh, the AI itself.
I think I posted it in my Substack. I cut and pasted the what I discovered on AI. I mean, it's used as a sales pitch. Like, it's the latest technology, and it's actually being tested in Gaza. So buy from us. So, And I'm saying, it's not just the Gazans who are the lab rats of the military-industrial complex. It's also the Jews, And
okay. Interesting.
And I was trying to tell you last time we spoke that the British were trying to create a religion called British Israelism. Do you remember me saying that?
No, I've forgotten.
So it was a religion that was created in Victorian times, and obviously when they got the Palestine Mandate in 1918, they wanted to people their colony with British people who will keep an eye on the oil and fight the Arabs, and convincing British people to think that they're one of the lost tribes in Israel would make them go and live there because, it's holy, 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 and, very romantic and whatever. Because otherwise the typical Briton would not be wanting to go and live amongst malarial swamps and fight Arabs in the Middle East. So they have to kind of make them believe that the kind of God's chosen people chose them to go and live in Israel and fight the Arabs. But it didn't happen because, Britain didn't hang on to Israel after World War II.
Sure.
'Cause they're
I better
not
go
getting-
now. But good talking to you as usual. And
Okay.
maybe see you next week.
Oh, you'll be in the UK by then, right?
Yeah, I'm going on Tuesday, I think, on the 20th, whatever that is. Tuesday, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll keep in touch, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to explain myself. And,
Cool, yeah. Yeah, thanks for listening, Nathaniel, as well. God bless you too. And thanks, Claire, for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Hope you
Colin,
see you in
for
real life.
coming.
See you. Bye.
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 Okay, Nathaniel, you can come on if you want, but you may not. Oh, he's gone anyway. So, Nathaniel, don't you know that I timestamp my streams? So you don't even have to listen to them, right? Somebody recently said that because of my timestamps, they don't need to listen to my streams, which is fine. I'm here to save you time. I am here to explain things to you, though many of you do not wish to have certain things explained to you. Because you probably don't want to know how you have been used and abused by your very own government.
Hey, good morning.
Daniel,
How are you?
I'm well.
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh, doing well. What am I? Okay, I hear your voice over here. Okay, sorry. What was the last thing you said? I had your stream up, so there's an echo and a delay.
No, I thought you might want to join us and say a few things.
Yeah, well, what you were just saying to Mr. Saphir was very interesting. And I was in the chat. I think that's great. I mean, honestly, now about the short form thing. Yeah, I know there's timestamps and whatnot. One of the things I learned when I started doing podcasting again, when I was doing media and marketing like 5 years ago, I was a single man, but and I was always trying to figure out, because I like books, I was always trying to figure out how to get married white fathers, which is like your main and most important demographic in America, right? How to get them to listen to my stuff. And what I figured out is they just don't have time. So you have to give them, and I know like you make ways for them to figure out how to, but it's so bad that like they don't even have time to figure out timestamps and stuff like that. So that's why like I have a whole platform that only releases a half an hour a month, like in 15-minute chunks, so that all the working men with like a lot of responsibility can get into the habit of listening. And I try to make it where it's got like the best stuff, or at least stuff that keeps them up with me, you know? So like, for instance, the last stream we did is being released now, the one we did in Christmas, and is broken up into 15-minute chunks, which I could do better than that, but I don't have the time to do better than that. So I recommend that. I really do, because then even a guy like me can keep up with you, you know? Well,
a lot of what I say is kind of a repetition of what I've been saying for quite a while, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But what happens is if somebody comes in and they see the YouTube, and then they see like an hour and a half, and then they start listening to it, and you're kind of like, it's warming up for like, half an hour, which is normal. That's how conversation should go. Because it's how you're like comfortable with people. It's the right way to do it. That's the YouTube style. But then they get started, then they can't get anywhere, and then come in again, and there's another hour and a half, and they're like, oh, maybe a week later, they're like, oh man, okay, I can't keep up, and then people just fall off. It happens to me. All the the Americans, that's our problem. We just don't have time. I think I said that to you about vacations and stuff like that. That I think England, like the standard is more than 2 weeks off a year, right? Like you guys give more
I think it's
vacation.
about that.
Is
It's
it
about
okay?
that. It's standard now, I guess.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's the American standard. We work way too much. So
Yeah, maybe you have more public holidays. You know, like Easter.
no, we work more than you guys. It's rare. Most people I know don't even take 2 weeks off.
I can well believe that. But so time is scarce, and you know, sometimes less is more, as they say, and that's why, you know, I prefer X or Twitter, as I used to call it.
Yeah,
because you know it limits you. It's like it used to be no more than 250 characters, right? No more than that, and then it concentrates your mind, and you make sure that you know, because you know, yeah, you can post long essays on your blog, but you won't know if people get to the end of it either. So if you write in, you know, people usually finish reading a tweet, right? It's only 250 characters.
Yeah.
So, and that was the most powerful platform. And now they've figured out ways of suppressing certain users and promoting others. So, you know, unless you pay to have your tweet promoted, it doesn't get anywhere. And of course, people, and now you can't even like somebody's tweet and show that you do, because if you do that, it means, well, you might get into trouble. You like that tweet, it means you're a fascist, or you know, something like that. So now X have made it private, so people can go down your X profile, you know, read all your tweets and discover what you liked, and then make you lose your job, right? So they're changing the rules to make it harder for us to propagate our message. So that's why I think brevity is really so important, because nobody has time to listen to you know, cook, right? Let me cook. It's like, no, you have to kind of declare your colors as soon as you get into the room, right?
Right.
So people know whether you're friend or foe, right? That's how they want to think anyway.
That's how they want to think. Yeah. I mean, in marketing, you basically learn, and I think it's an important principle to not peg yourself into one category, you know, because people accept or reject you in a hurry, and I don't even like being accepted by people in a hurry, because then you find yourself locked down where you can't have differing opinions from the group. You know what I mean? So every group I enter, and I learned this from sales and marketing, but it's also helpful because I have different opinions. Like what you were just saying to Mr. Safir, I only caught the tail end of that, but that's excellent. That's like a lot of my peers hate the Jews, at least hate what they're doing. And I think I said this to Mr. Safir, because he seems to be kind of that way too, at least against Israel. Well, it's like I have a pretty developed idea of what a Jew is, and it's very personal. It's like, who is the Jew? You know what I mean? That's why, like, you know, like, who do I blame? Because one of the
government. You have to blame your government.
Well, yeah, I mean, the government definitely. Now here's where I differ about that, though, because I was trying to express this to you. From studying history, one of the big problems I had when I was growing up and trying to understand the world and studying history is things don't work today like they've worked for almost all of history. And I think and what I finally discovered, I think, is the reason is because I believe that basically since about 1865 in America, since the Civil War, the leader, kind of like the people who actually do things, they're all in the economic sphere. They're all like capitalists and magnates. That it's like your Rockefeller and your Carnegie and whatnot. Those are the people who actually did things, and the presidents and the people in government just ended up working for those guys. Which is, you see that in history with oligarchs.
Well, big business would be donating to the campaign funds of the different parties. So that's why everything is big business.
Yeah,
And
well,
that
it's not.
Washington said don't have political parties, and when I say that, Americans kind of well reject that because
Yeah,
they seem to want their elections, or they think
yeah.
voting is a sacred cow that they're not going to give up, even though it hasn't done them any good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think the problem goes back to the beginning. I don't think we should have parties, but I kind of see it as like a symptom of the original problem, which was the Republican form of government that Americans set up, that George Washington and his faction, because he had a faction. It's the Federalist faction, and they came up with the Constitution because before the Constitution, the federal government had no power, and it shouldn't have. It should have never had. It should have stayed weak, honestly, because
Okay, this shoulda, coulda, woulda. You've got your constitution right
yeah,
now, and then we have to understand why the founding fathers separated the church from their state.
so,
Right, so they
yeah,
had a problem with Christianity, and I was trying to tell Colin about the halfway
it's
covenant.
very cold here. It's very, very cold here. You need to go put on socks and something. Okay, I should have told you this. Okay, so sorry, Miss Caw. I was worried that so my son woke up very early and it's freezing cold in the garage, and he's here. But I love this conversation. I wish I could continue it, but I have to take care of my son now. But
Okay, so but did you listen?
I would
from
love
the
to talk about this more, though. I'd love to pick up.
Yeah,
where-
yeah.
Maybe
let
on
me-
Twitter. Maybe you can help me get on Twitter. I don't know. I can't figure out Twitter to save my life.
well, once you get on it, I'll help you.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I think I'm the Village Economy on Twitter. So I'll pull up the app and I'll try to send you a message or something. You tell me what to do.
Okay, all
But
right.
whatever. This conversation was excellent. I'd love to keep going on this. Maybe I don't know if we're on Twitter and you say what you just said about George Washington, I missed the next thing because I was talking to my son, and then I respond on Twitter and we have a conversation. Does that grow our accounts? Because we're doing that in
Yeah,
public.
yeah, because people will take an interest. So that's an excellent idea.
Let's do that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
because I could do that in the warm part of the house. All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you, Miss
All
Cobb.
right.
Keep up the good work.
Okay,
I think you're doing a good thing. I want to help you infiltrate the American bourgeoisie because I know how these people these Christians. I grew up with that. They sit and they do their Bible studies and they don't talk about anything important. Here's the simple answer. What I figured out is they're wealthy. They're in debt like everyone else, but they have more cash flow in and out, so they don't care about what the youth cares about. And then they're afraid of offending their wives. It's because they're afraid of offending their wives.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
And I can't blame them. That's what it is.
Yeah, because then you have no full divorce, right?
Right.
And
Well,
your
it's not
wife
just
could
that.
divorce you for over a political disagreement. I remember there were wives who threatened to divorce their husbands if they voted for Trump. I catch you voting for Trump.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
symptom.
divorce you.
That's a symptom. But like the thing that I always say, everything's economics. Like, you have to understand these. So because they're working so much, they're in the workplace so much, and their wife manages the house, which is totally unnatural. That's not how it should work. They have like their whole lives, they've had these tiny periods of time in order to come home and try to cooperate with their wife and try to understand their wife. They don't have enough time to understand their wife. So then that's why they're afraid of offending their wives. They don't know what will offend their wives. And if they do offend their wives, that their children have this loyalty to their mothers because they never see their fathers. And now these guys are coming home from work and being retired and they don't even know. So that's why you see them trying to figure out like emotions and feelings and everything's, we're having these wonderful conversations. And they say it's very feminine. Well, it's because they're trying to relate to their wives. So, all right.
Mhm.
I'm
Great insight, Nathaniel.
going to pull up Twitter and I'm going to try to figure it out. And then we'll continue this conversation on Twitter.
Okay. Thanks,
God,
Nathaniel. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you. I'm praying for you, Miss Carr.
I'll pray for you too.
Please do. Please do. That's what I need.
All
Goodbye.
right. Bye.